It started as an idea, it became a dream, and now it's becoming a reality. No one foreseen it happening, it just happened. But enough of the chit chat. It's game time!
Do you like football? Do you appreciate good commentary? Enjoy the factual entertainment we call podcast. You won't regret it. Tune in while you can. They aren't on forever.
Clocked in, minds at work, stadium's my only church. IQUC, I come in first. NFL, I'll wait my turn. Brucey is the QB1, Timmy is the football nerd. Ryan's hopping on them takes, religious Reek will bless with words. Last but not the least is Reese, he shows opinions over. Hova speaks his mind while staying sober. Spits his facts, come watch or show. Your hat is on backwards, you know it's for clothes. Are you lucky they started this show that you're clover? Think that your brain is super, then over. Tune in while you can, you'll hate when it's over.
A very happy Wednesday to everyone. Welcome in. We are the Football Guys, and this is the Football Guys podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. As always, I'm joined alongside my man, Reese and my man, Timmy Goat the Joseph. We're without Bruce tonight. Bruce has a family matter to attend to, and we're also without Tariq tonight. Tariq's quick shout out to Tariq Jackson Jr., Tariq's son. Today's his big day. It's his birthday as we record this Monday. So happy birthday to him.
Yeah, happy birthday, Lil Reek.
Yes, sir. And I hope the guys handle what they got to do with their families, and we look forward to being back with them as always. But until then, the show goes on, and so there are some topics to talk about in not only the football world, the sports world. We're coming right out of what I hope will be the overall end of this virus, but they're saying it's only phase one. We're coming out of it, and baseball returns this week. And it might be a good indicator what will happen for football. We'll see how they make out. It definitely was a long process. It doesn't help that they have a dumbass of a commissioner that really doesn't – he's kind of not fit for the job. But I think Adele's definitely better at his job than Manfred is at his. So
a lot better.
A lot better. It's not even close. Right around the corner, too, we're only about 10 days removed from the NBA, and I believe we're about the same time frame removed from the NHL. So
it's either the same day or the day after, I forget.
Yep.
Right. And so – it's definitely those will all be telltale signs of what football options are going to be. An interesting note. So the NBA players, I believe they've been down that bubble in Orlando and Disney World now for coming up on 2 weeks. I know they had to be down there for at least 14 days before the tip off. And I believe I'm not privy to the whole story. So if anyone knows better, feel free to chime in. But I believe they tested everyone that's down there and there's 0 positive cases of everyone that's reported so far. So
yes,
listen, people love to say you don't need the mask, you don't got to look what happens when you do it. All of them people in one area, and when the virus has nowhere to go, you know what happens? It dies. So wear them masks and just maintain your distance, and you'll be good.
It's too bad all the other sports have too many guys to do the bubble thing.
Yeah, it definitely is one of those things, even with baseball, same not as 0, they didn't have 0, but they had very few cases. I believe it was only like maybe 2 or 3 out of 800 guys. So, so if however, they're both doing it, it seems like they're doing something right in which they're able to go ahead and decrease the positive test. So, I do have my own theories in regards with all this, but hey, people continue to be safe, continue to do the shit that we actually were supposed to be doing in the first place. But it is what it is. But the thing is, in which I'm concerned about, is guess what? The NFL is not going into a bubble. So since the NFL isn't going to the bubble, and I think this kind of brings up one of the topics that we're probably going to talk about tonight, is the fact of how a lot of the players are saying like, hey, what are the safety issues and what's going to happen in regards to the NFL?
We want to play.
Exactly.
I seen that like 30 times on Twitter yesterday. We want to play.
But in regards to them playing, like, all right, so how are they going to conduct these things? And training camp is starting on the 28th. There's a lot of players who are kind of talking like, I'm not too sure if I want to play now if you guys don't have any safety guidelines administer. And they had since March to get this thing going and talking to the players and saying, hey, this is what we're going to implement. I know the latest thing has been that they're going to be doing daily COVID-19 testing, but still along with that, you're not going to be quarantined. You're going to be going out and about. You don't know who these players are going to be coming in contact with in regards to training camp. So they're not going to be staying in the bubble. And I think that's the biggest thing, as you see, and that's why we mentioned the NBA and Major League Baseball, of having just everybody in one area and saying, okay, so we can kind of contain this. Okay, you have it. All right, cool. So you don't spread it, or whoever you come in contact, so you can have them, and test them to see if they have it or not. When you are just out and about and you don't know where these players are necessarily going, who they're meeting, who they're coming in contact with, you're going to continue to have the spread, whether they are asymmetric or not. So that's the biggest thing that I'm wondering about what the NFL is necessarily going to do. And it kind of leads to my point, what I said earlier in other podcasts on, I don't think they should start on time until they get their shit together. It is a thing. You're like, yo, we're almost in August. Hey, look, your time is running out. If you don't have anything of a plan or action to really go ahead and take this thing on. And I know the players are like, I don't know, NFL. I think Russell Wilson just tweeted, hey, Sierra's pregnant and yeah, I want to play, but hey, man, I'm about to have a baby soon. So, yeah. I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, I think the big part of the NFL's thing is they have no idea what to do because it's different in a lot of other sports. I mean, there's a lot of bleeding on each other, laying on each other. So I think NFL's kind of waiting for, training camp to start to just see how, stuff happens. I mean, see if, cases go up or down because unless you put them all in a hotel together, there's not really much you could do. I mean, because I said there's NBA's got 15-man rosters.
Yeah.
5-6 coaches. NFL, you got 50-some players, 12, 15 coaches.
Easy.
All the people the ball boys out there, all the referees.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to it's almost impossible. Baseball, same thing as the NBA. Most of the guys on the field are social distancing anyway. I mean, they don't get close to each other. So I think it's the NFL is just probably running through thousands of scenarios and just can't figure out which one is the right thing to do. And hopefully training camp, they can get a hold of this because that would be the worst thing out of everything, man. If there was no NFL season, that would be the worst thing possible.
Because you got to think, man, it's got to be 300 people? I'm sorry, right? But it's got to be 300 personnel if you include all the coaches, players. And we're talking about just 53. You got to remember, they're going to bring in more than that to cut down to 53. And that's after, 4 weeks or now not even because they're not going to have 4 preseason games. They're going to cut that. So –
and they actually said they might keep more practice squad guys now because –
Exactly. Especially with this going on. Yes. Going to have to. Definitely going to have to. What are you going to say, Rye?
So, I mean, it's definitely bad business if football doesn't happen. I think that's really when you see the economy take a hit. The people don't realize the effect that professional sports, specifically NFL, have on the economy. Think about a city like Kansas City. There ain't much else going on in Kansas City. Where do you think that city generates a lot of its revenue from? Just owning the stadium, Arrowhead. That just like every other stadium in this country, the city owns the stadium for the most part, or the state owns a stadium. It's no different anywhere else. Just think about those smaller markets, kind of the financial impact they're going to take with no fans in attendance, and not
Cleveland,
even now you're Cleveland. Cleveland's a little different because they do have at least 3 of the 4 sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, Kansas City, that's scary. Jacksonville, that's another city. They're only sports football.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely creating an interesting scenario. And then also, I really think what it's coming down to is it's both the Players Association and the NFL itself are scared to move because you don't want to flinch too early because let's say this thing just kind of tails off, you know what I mean? And the players have already decided to sit out. And now all of a sudden, these guys, the league's ready to go. You know what I mean? It's oh, well, guess what? You just lost all this guaranteed money because you guys already reached this date and you said you didn't want to play and now it's too late for you. So you're losing all this year guaranteed money from your contracts. Whereas the league itself doesn't want to jump too early either because they're going to lose sponsorship money if they jump too early and everything's good to go after all.
But I got to say this. The NFL this whole time, I don't know if we forgot, has been saying what? We're going to start on time. We're going to start on time. They had the draft. We're going to do this. The NFL has still been operating as if there hasn't been a damn pandemic. You know, yes, and I won't say fully because, yes, they did make changes, even like with the draft, right, in April. They were like, hey, we shouldn't have the draft. We shouldn't have players, this, that, and this. We should try to push it back. And what did the NFL do? They adjusted. They wound up having a virtual draft, you know, with Roger Goodell doing it virtually and so forth and so forth. And they still kept going and kept moving, you know, and the NFL never said this whole goddamn time since literally March, they have never said, all right, you know what? Let's go ahead and try to figure this thing out, do something differently. You know, they've been steadily moving as you go, you know, and now that the fact that these other leagues have now started implementing things, started putting teams in bubbles, what has the NFL necessarily done in which they've been, in a sense, proactive and to say, okay, hey, we're going to have this, each team, 32 goddamn teams, 32. How are we going to put 32 teams in a bubble? Because that's what you kind of necessarily need to do. And how are they going to, you know, manage that?
I think it goes back to what Ryan was saying, though. Like, the other sports had to do this stuff because it hit right during their season.
Yeah.
The NFL had the luxury, like the wait and see attitude, hoping that something maybe we, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
Ryan
yes, a little bit, but training camp was already supposed to start even before the 28th.
I know. I'm saying just for like their actual season. I mean, though.
Yes. So
like
they,
NBA,
they have until September.
NHL, like we're in the heart of their season.
Yep.
And baseball was just about to start. So they had no choice. They had to like be proactive with everything before it hit bad. But the NFL, I guess they for the sake of money, wanted to leave their options a lot better, just so they didn't have to forfeit money they could earn.
Yeah, I mean, but as of right now, you had 4 months to prepare. Yeah, you had a good 4 months, and you've been saying and told everyone, hey, we're going to start the 28th. And now when you start to see players, and you talking about NFL icon players are talking about, hey, I want to play, but where's the guidelines? J.J. Watt literally tweeted, hey, what's up with the safety guidelines? What are we going to do? And the only thing that's been shown from the NFL is the fact that we're going to do daily testing. Okay, great. Is daily testing going to just help players from not getting the COVID? It's not. So how, once again, what is the safety guidelines that you're going to implement for each team is going to go by? You know, just literally, we're recording on the 20th. We're recording today on a Monday, guys. Next week, they're going to start supposedly the NFL training camp. They should already had something already set and go. Hey, they still have a week. I don't know who they need to talk to. I'm in Jersey. Hey, the governor has opened up for the NFL teams here and every other sport that, hey, yes, we're going to have a fall season. You know, as we talked about, even California just said, hey, guess what? We're going to push their sports back into the winter. So, and then we have some Ivy League schools who say they're not going to play at all. That's in college. So once again, we know the NFL sets the precedence for a lot of sports, and especially football. And I know me, and I've been telling even my local teams out here for my son's playing, I'm like, hey, we're probably not going to have a season because we all know that the NFL, once they go ahead and set something, then it's like a trickle-down effect. And they haven't set anything yet. So that's the way I'm looking at it personally, but they really haven't. What have they really set?
So I think the best solution to this, to ensure that you play football and to ensure health and safety at the same time, is to set up 4 hub cities. And you ever have that one coworker that wants to fit in at the water cooler at work, and they'll say, and all of a sudden they're talking about the time the Eagles and the Cowboys played in the Super Bowl. I think this is that year. I think this is that year when you might be able to see that type of matchup because you ignore the conferences for a year, and you break up the 4 regions geographically. You got the East, the West, the North, and the South. And you break it up that way. And you put 8 teams in each, and then it comes the 4 teams that come out at the end, one from each geographic location. You let them square off. You'll do the East versus the West and North versus South, and the 2 meet up for the Super Bowl. I think that's how I would do it right now. You keep them in hub cities. I mean that's still big numbers, but you're talking about 53 people from each team. That's 53 by 8. So what's that? That's about 424. 424 per city.
424.
So,
well, hold on. You still got to remember the coaches, training.
All right. So
let's
just call it 75 per team. 75 personnel.
I'd say 100 at least.
I say 100. Definitely say 100.
You think 100?
Yeah.
But you got to realize they can start trimming guys. You know, do you really?
You got to practice squad players.
You
always got
squad guys.
Yeah.
You need scouts and stuff. Like,
yeah, they always have.
But see, the scouts are the guys that can do their job remotely because they can watch through an iPad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't have to necessarily travel.
It can be easy. It can be easily done. Each team gets their own hotel. I mean, I'm sure the Holiday Inn would.
I love it.
Would sell to the NFL for a month or
the Marriott, so forth and so forth.
Right. There's a lot of listen. I think that's how you get football done this year. You break it up into 4 groups of 8, and you go from there. And I mean, that could be another episode for another time because I didn't get that. I don't have that list assembled, but just off the top of my head, like you would put the Eagles with the Giants, the Jets, New England.
Buffalo.
Patriots, Buffalo, Steelers,
Ravens,
and Ravens. Maybe one more team that you pull out of your hat. Maybe the Redskins. Well, sorry, the Washington football team. that Washington football team that ain't got no name.
I say,
that's going to happen this year.
I guess technically they're still the Redskins until they get a new name.
Yeah. I mean, until it's official,
Like,
I guess it is still called the Redskins.
Like how often do people still say the San Diego Chargers? I mean, it happens
all the time.
Even on TV.
However,
shoot, and Rams.
That brings up something that we didn't talk about because we were trying to figure out. That we're hitting that little low point in football right now.
No,
we got to talk about what's going on with the Redskins. Washington Post dropped a bomb the other day. Did you guys see that or no?
Yeah, the sexual harassment stuff.
Yeah, that's huge. And listen.
Well, hold on. Reese, wasn't me you were talking the one day and I said that about, like, it's odd that a guy that said that he'd never changed the name all of a sudden changed the name out of nowhere. And it looks like that was kind of like a goodwill thing to try to get the focus off.
Yep.
What's happening?
What's really going to be an attack. And pretty much, there's always something that is behind the scenes. So when you see, and that's always the case with a lot of things, that happens in this world, period. And the fact of, especially with the NFL, when you start to see guys go ahead and shift and you say, hey, well, we would never do this. We would never, never. Then all of a sudden, hold up. I know I said never, but I had to think about it a little bit. I had a calling of God or whatever reason they necessarily want to use, they all of a sudden now change up. And usually it's something that it's a smoke screen to try to get you away from what's really going to happen until the truth necessarily comes out. And I think the same thing is going on with Dan Snyder and that Washington. And look, once again, it's one of those things where there's smoke, there's definitely fire. And now the fires are coming the fuck out, flat out. They're all coming out. And I think there's more. I definitely think there's more.
It's also hard to to look through because I read some of the stuff and there's so much money changed hands to people and stuff like that. It's hard to find out figure out what's real and what's not real because
you're definitely gonna have some bullshit out there because people now. Honestly, I know this with football, but you got to think now. Like what happened to Tiger Woods. All of a sudden, you had all these women come on now. Hey, yeah, man, yo, Tiger. Wow. I was with Tiger too as well. Like, hold up. No, you wasn't. Stop it. Now everybody want to get a piece of the pie, and that's exactly what happened. I
actually think they confirmed most of those. I think with the Tiger thing, I actually think that.
Hey, look, a lot of those Tiger's like, hey, look, you got to get this crouching tiger. I'm giving it to everyone. No,
well, hey,
I'm giving it to
everyone
that wants it.
You got to figure, right? If you're an athlete, right, And we don't know how many percent. It could be 100% athletes cheat. We don't know.
We don't know.
we all assume that it's more than like 60%. We all think like at least.
Then we also hold on before you finish that. You also got to remember, you don't know their relationship. We say it's cheating. They may allow it. Some whatever the partner is, these may say it's A-okay. It's the whole entanglement. It's A-okay as long as it doesn't get ugly.
Well, there was basketball. I read this article like years ago, like maybe 15 years ago, and I think it was Maxim. What's his name? Andre Karolinko. Used to play for the Jazz.
Oh man, yeah. Oh,
that he was allowed to cheat every year on his birthday.
The Russian. Yeah, the Russian.
His wife let him cheat. His wife was hot, man.
Yes, I remember, But that's not cheating. You know why? Because she knows, all right, you're going to go ahead and do that. So if I'm aware, how am I cheating? My wife would give me the A-okay. Or whoever my partner is giving me the A-okay, because you got to say that these days. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy.
Now I don't care about my birthday. If I had that kind of arrangement, I care a little bit more. I have the calendar out.
But I can't wait for my birthday. You got the text. Be like, I've been watching her.
Be like those 20-year-old girls, man. It's my birthday month. Those girls.
No. Oh, man. Hey, speaking of that, it is August. You know what I'm saying? Just letting you guys know. The special month is coming up. You know what I mean? I know we're talking football, but you mentioned it. You know what I mean? Hey, okay. August is almost coming up here. It's okay, guys. Hey, fans, it's okay. You know what I mean? Your boy Reese. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Tim's in the same month as well.
Yep.
Come on.
August 4th.
Bring on the gifts.
What you turning, Big 2-5? Big 2-5?
You know it, man. Shit, look at his skin. Shit. God. All right, I ain't going to get too close because I got sunburn. It's crazy. Hey, black people can get sunburn, goddammit, especially dark-skinned ones. I have in this goddamn week. Shit. I couldn't believe it. But either way.
I'm not going to lie about that. When I was younger, a friend of mine, he went to North Carolina for the week, and he came back. He was a black gentleman, and he came back. He was like, "Man, I'm so sunburned or whatever." And as a kid, like you don't think about this stuff. I was like, "That's true." And then
that's how they came up with Tar Heels.
Yeah.
No, I'm bullshitting. That's not how they came up with Tar Heels. But it's true, but I don't want to shy too away from where we're getting at, man. But, I mean, honestly, man, seriously, Washington, other than the name change, y'all got some shit going on down there. And I would hate to be a player now for Washington. Shit.
If there's someone that deserves COVID on this world, it's definitely Dan Snyder. That dude's a piece of shit.
Fuck. Yeah. I mean, if everything pans out to be what it was, like, yo, come on, bro. You definitely get and the way they're talking, because I mean, sometimes you wonder, like, all right, man, is some of these things made up? Is it a money grab? Because that's what usually happens sometimes when.
So I just think with him, like, I don't know if he's directly involved with a lot of stuff. I think he's just one of those guys like that has no control over anything because he's like a nerdy guy. He like tries to fit in. He probably lets like people do whatever they want. Like you see all the time.
Right, well, that's the problem.
Yeah,
that is a problem.
I mean, he's letting people. They created a culture down in DC where his inner circle, like that he surrounds himself with as the owner, they feel as if they can get away with what they want. Like I'm sure, they've really started looking into this. I'd be interested to see where they're spending the company credit cards on. There's going to be a lot more that cut. This is more than just sex scandal. There's going to be a lot that comes out with this.
That was the same thing I had against Joe Paterno. When people were saying, like, you can't hold Joe Paterno.
Yes.
But
I was thinking the same thing.
You're in charge. Like, they say that people have told him about this before. He just didn't want to believe it. I mean, he might not directly touch any little kids, but if someone tells you about it, you don't do anything about it, then it's your fault also.
And I'm going to piss off every single Penn State fan when I say this, and I really don't give a fuck.
I know what you're saying.
Joe Pa knew.
I think he did.
Knew. And I say that with the straightest of faces. Joe Pa's a piece of shit.
I tell
Penn State.
You ask Lipitor, I say it to him all the time.
Honestly, I think he knew. I mean, I don't think it's surprising that the man passed away. And I know a lot of people want to say, I know Penn State fans, they always want to say, oh, well, he already had, these elements. My man was ticking and going, no problem. Then all of a sudden, all this shit came about. and all of a sudden, oh, I'm so stressed. You know why? Because the shit that you actually knew about played on your conscience, created more stress. So the shit that you was dealing with before, now he passed away. And look, I'm not the type of person that likes to shit on the dead, so I won't do that.
Yo, catch
But
me
still.
catch me with my pants at my ankles over his grave, because fuck that man.
Oh,
I'm telling you right now.
I do
if
think
they resurrect,
I do think Joe knew. I have to agree.
oh,
I
he
hate to say it,
definitely
but I have to.
ain't a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I bet you in his head he tried to convince himself it wasn't true. Because like
that wasn't true.
You have a buddy sometime growing up that did some dumb stuff, and you're like, please, like you went at nighttime, you're like, oh my god, please let this not be true. You know what I mean,
Exactly. And honestly, as you're winning, I wonder if Joe, he probably never seen none of the acts, but he just knew about it. He heard so many rumblings and bumblings.
I've heard reports that he did, and he would turn a blind eye. Oh yeah,
makes it worse.
I have no respect for Joe Paterno or Penn State for that matter. I'm telling you right now, if they resurrect that statue, I want people to go up there and tear that statue down. That's a statue I'm tearing down. I could definitely get behind. In fact, we'll do a live episode. We'll do a live episode from the statue. The football guys on the road to University Park, PA.
Oh, shit.
We're going to be live from the Joe Pa statue tumbling. Take that bitch to the ground.
I mean, you do got to think about that. I mean, look, now a lot of the stuff we got to say, it is alleged. It's alleged, so we don't know the actual truth. You know what I mean? Whoever necessarily was part of it, really Joe and whoever.
This is our opinion.
Yes, this is our opinion. So, but upon the details that we have, and we are not privy to any more details than any other you fans are. The fact of the matter is, from what we hear and what's came out, it really is. I mean, I really do think Joe knew. And it's sad because, man, being the man that he is and the power that he did have in Penn State and supposedly the great things that he did, outside of Penn State, it's like, why, Joe? If you did know about this, why the fuck would you not get rid of this man and continue to have him on your staff for so long and conduct these things, whether you knew it or not? If you had just any speculation or doubt, hey, you know what? Get him the fuck out of here. That's my point. Hey, look, I understand it. Hey, matter of fact, we're going to have you take a leave of absence. We're going to investigate this. Don't investigate this shit now after it's been like 20, 30 years, and then now you want to investigate, because now people have come out and come forward. That's too late now, bro. You had to know, and for that long, you had to know something wasn't right. And I think, honestly, that, like I said, that's my opinion, I think that's why he passed away, because it wasn't sitting right on his heart, his soul, and his health.
That's a lot of things. If you think about it, like the Harvey Weinstein stuff.
Hell yeah. And
the Bill Cosby stuff. Like,
yeah.
When you roll in these kind of circles, somebody else has to know about this stuff. I mean, it's like impossible. You hang out with all these other comedians, and Harvey Weinstein hangs out with all these actors and producers, and it's just, you don't want to know because that's your meal ticket.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's one of those things, like, what they say, it's like it's his, hers, and the truth. The three opinions for the story, or whatever.
Yeah, you got three sides to the story.
Nobody really knows what happens in these situations. We just go off. What do you think?
So, guys, real quick before we wrap up this episode, just a quick question. I'm gonna catch you guys off the beat. Just keep you on your toes. You know what it is. We got to stay modern with the modern football too.
Oh, shit.
Who's going to be MVP this year if football's played?
I mean, the easy answer would be probably Pat, curly head, fucking Mahomes. But I'm not going to go with Pat. I'm going to go with a guy who's been getting snubbed, and I don't even like saying this, and I don't even like really actually saying this, because that means that they're going to do well. But yes, I think it's going to be Russell. I think he's finally going to fucking get it. And I don't want to see it, because what I think is going to happen, and what I think is actually under the radar, is the fact that he's going to have another year, and with I can't remember the receiver's name.
DJ
Metcalf.
Metcalf, yes, for DK. with DK Metcalf, another year with that guy and learning, and them two just constantly, along with Lockett, and
DK has top 10 potential.
He definitely does. And
He's
honestly,
like
he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just, and you could tell that's a guy who works hard. So I think he's definitely, there's a reason why, he wasn't the number one guy, in Ole Miss, but I think he's coming into the NFL trying to prove all the critics wrong on why he should have been the number one guy. I know a lot of it has been on injuries and so forth, but A.J. Brown, is like, hey, bro, for DK, you do have something to prove. I understand you 230, you can run. Yes, and
he
A.J.
had a
Brown
good year
is pretty
too.
good. So it's like, hey, guess what? DK, and now you give that, like Russell is actually going to have some really, like a really great receiver now in two of them. So it's like, wow. Look what he did with that horrible line and still be able to buy the time. And that's just DK's first year. As I said before, a lot of the receivers start to really come out into their own, really like the third year. But I think the time that he's going to be able to get to work with him and understanding the system and so forth, I think Russell had a great year. Like, Russell had a great year last year. A lot of people forget about that. He had a great year last year. He was in MVP running last year. So I really think he's going to probably get it this year. Of course, my vote is definitely going to be a quarterback. It usually always is a fucking quarterback. So I don't think Lamar
Just throw out a non-quarterback just in case. Just like
a non-quarterback. Yeah, I would say Reek's favorite player, Christian McCaffrey. But I don't think they're going to get enough wins because I don't trust Teddy Bridgewater. So since I don't think it's him,
I think I read earlier that Washington and Jacksonville and the Panthers were the top three for the number one pick. Whatever percentage.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. I know we don't want to get too far off, but look, Teddy Bridgewater is nothing but a check down quarterback. Let's see how he does being outside of Sean Payton and the weapons he had over in New Orleans. Let's see what he has now, what he can do with. Who's the receivers over there? DJ Moore. He's okay. So
not to cut you off, but don't be surprised, if Teddy Bridgewater comes out and shits the bed. Matt Rule,
I'm not surprised at all.
But don't be surprised when they give the kid from Temple, P.J. Walker, a chance. The XFL quarterback.
I wonder what the depth chart is going to be with him because they're talking about him right as of right now is the third string. So
who's their backup?
I'm trying to remember who's the second string guy.
Because they traded Kyle Allen.
Yeah, Kyle Allen will end up being the – if Dwayne Haskins shits the bed, then Kyle Allen will be the starter in Washington.
Yes, yes.
But
honestly, I guess for just real quick for my second, gosh, that's kind of a tough question. I'm going to throw this out there. It may upset you Eagles fans, and I know two of you guys aren't on here, but I'm going to go with Zeke. Just because.
You just made Reese day.
Yeah.
not because it's the Cowboys. Then he can say, "Look, see,
I know.
CMC's not damn for you to leave."
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'll get mine out here now. I'm not changing my pick. I already put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
I made two bets 2 months ago for the MVP of the league this year. On a shout out to Fox Bet, maybe they'll give us a sponsor. A little bit of money.
I love that.
I bet Kyler Murray as MVP with some really good odds. I also bet Tom Brady as league MVP.
Wow.
Even better odds.
Wow.
So that's what I'm going to go with. And I'll go my quarterback one. I'm going to throw this one out there. The second time that ever happens, I'm going to go with the guy who thinks I have a great year. I'm going to go with T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt. Wow.
He's going to challenge for the sack record.
Wow. If he gets it, then it's
Tim, you're gonna have to lay that bet out, man. Just in case.
He's probably not even on there.
I know.
You can fuck around and buy a couple houses if you hit on that.
Shit.
$1
I'm pretty sure he's not on there. I definitely know his ass ain't on there. He'd be like, who the fuck is this guy who picked T.J. Watt? Oh, man.
Oh,
Yo,
shit.
so what are you thinking, Ryan?
I also bet the Sixers to win the NBA Finals and
I love
the
that.
Edmonton Oilers to win the NHL Finals just because they had good odds.
Goodness.
And I guess they had a chance.
Ah, there you go. Hey, listen. If Tim wins, we all win because he said he's donating all winnings to the Football Guys podcast.
Well,
To improve the quality of the show.
I didn't bet a lot of money on these things, but
Yeah. Hey, if they hit, goddamn.
there's good ROI on these things.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, but, that also alludes to a little bit. You guys are going to probably see that in later episodes. Hopefully, if we do have an NFL season, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be giving you guys odds, our predictions and things like that against the spread and who we think,
Fantasy football
more.
stuff.
Yes, sir. So
we have more than one
residential.
we have more than one residential gambling degenerate in this this podcast family we got going. So
you don't have a problem if you're winning. Okay,
that's correct.
So I'm
that's
going
correct.
Say.
That's very
the only
very
problem
true.
comes when you're losing.
The only
Very
problem
true.
when you have to stop.
Oh man, it's true though. It's true. Man. Hey, look, man. Hey, to all my other gamblers out there, I understand. I understand it. You know what I mean? And not having sports, you had to find other different things to go ahead and gamble on. Hey, Mike DeMark, I don't mean to call you out there, but hey, bro, I understand it, man. If you're listening to this thing, I understand it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Shoot, I had to go ahead and start betting on some Korean baseball. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The KBO. I was like, damn, you know what? I might be able.
I was betting UFC and doing horrible at it. So
yes. But yeah,
UFC's a hard one.
Yeah, I had a lot of money left over on there from last year's football season. I bet UFC and freaking golf. I did horrible at both of them. I bet it's funny. I actually laid money down on the Daytona 500. I know nothing about racing, and the dude I bet on almost freaking died in the car crash. So I said, "No, I'm never betting on I'm never betting on racing again."
Not gonna do that no more. I apologize.
Almost killed a guy.
Yeah, my bet almost killed a guy.
Me and Ray Lewis.
Oh man.
Sorry, Bruce.
So anyway, I don't think. I mean, I could give you some bullshit answer that would be better for the podcast, but y'all already know who I got winning the MVP. It's Jerry Curl himself, Pat Mahomes. He does have he got a mean Jerry Curl. He does. I love a good Jerry Curl. He got a mean Jerry Curl.
Yeah, below that there.
That Boy Meets World fucking Jericho he got.
And for a dark horse candidate as a quarterback.
Me and Roe are the most handsome quarterback in the league.
He got a porn star.
He gets the most checks. Man.
But no. So if we're looking for a dark horse candidate here,
yeah, who you got?
Maybe a guy like Josh Allen. He's got Stephon Diggs. He's got Stephon Diggs to play around with. They got John Brown already. He's no slouch. You know what I mean?
Surprised you didn't go with your boy Joe Burrow.
No.
If you think about Josh Allen, if New England implodes, that's like a weak division. They could easily win the division.
That's what I'm saying. He could mess around and have a really good year. He could throw 40 touchdowns playing in that division, I think.
He could.
And he had the running touchdown.
Exactly.
And don't forget, you don't have to do great in the thing to be MVP, Debbie.
Right.
No. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's funny because I think we talked about it before, like how he is very similar to Cam Newton. I think either Tim or Bruce had mentioned this, another one before. So if you look at his numbers, if he's actually able to put up the same numbers Cam Newton did, in his MVP season, in which he wasn't really too far off, and he fits the same prototype as Cam. I mean, hey, that's not too far-fetched. And now he actually has another weapon. He has a bona fide number one receiver over there. I mean, they can actually do some things. And they still got I know they don't have Frank Gore. He now went over to, what is it, Jets now?
Because
He
I'm looking right now.
Around that division.
Cam's MVP year,
I think he had 28.
He didn't throw he had 35. But,
35.
he
Let
didn't
me
have
get my-
4,000 yards.
Let me get my non-quarterback out the way real quick before I forget
Yeah,
it.
who you got?
I'm gonna keep it in the great state of New York, and
That's Matt Silver.
Oh, shit.
no,
Saquon.
Saquon Barkley.
That's it. Yeah,
Mass-
yeah.
It's got to be Saquon. Yeah, look at they just built that lineup. They got arguably the best overall lineman in the draft, and Andrew Thomas. So I mean, how's that going to hurt him? You know what I mean? And he's only getting better. He probably, when you're talking about from a pure running back standpoint, he probably is the best running back in football from a pure running back standpoint.
Bro, I mean, we already see what that young man has done. He is very equivalent to Barry and having no line. And, I mean, even last year, if he doesn't get hurt a little bit and if the Giants are actually a little bit in the running, I don't think they sit him for a couple games. So I think a lot of people forget about that too.
I just think
we'll see.
I don't know if he's consistent enough. I like someone like you said, like a Zeke or a Derrick Henry, only because they're more consistent week to week. Barkley's one of those guys like you watched against the Eagles last year, did absolutely nothing except for one run, and then the stats look good. They're 130 yards or whatever, but he had 85-yard run and then 30 yards besides that on 20 carries.
I mean, but we already know the Giants always had problems with the line. They always had problems with the line. So I mean, Ryan does have a point, which I'm surprised I'm actually saying this shit. He does actually have a point a little bit with them actually trying to beef up that line and actually going ahead and say, guess what? We actually need to invest in our number one guy, and it is Saquon, without a doubt. He is now the face of New York, and they need to protect that guy. Also, too, he can literally win them ball games. He actually has won them ball games. And still, you got to remember, they still have a young quarterback. So doing that, it kind of, they're killing two birds with one stone. They have to, protect both of their investment, their quarterback and, and their running back. But if they can open up just a little bit for Saquon, we saw what he did his rookie year. I mean, just getting the ball in his hands, it's oh shit. I'm not too sure if we got to play the Giants this year. I think we do, don't we?
Yeah,
Tim?
We played a whole AFC, NFC.
Yeah, NFC East. So, fuck. So either way, I mean, look, man, that man is special. But I'm wondering if Rico's going to call Saquon overrated too as well. So shit, who knows? He called Christian McCaffrey overrated. He's probably going to call Saquon overrated. I mean, I don't want to kill Rick while he's not here, but the guy's out of his fucking mind to say that Christian McCaffrey putting up record numbers is overrated. I mean, shit, stats literally speak for himself.
I don't know.
What you got, Tim?
It should be a fun season.
It will.
That'd be weird.
If we have it.
Fingers crossed it happens. But that being said, we're short on guys tonight, so we're gonna keep the episode. Oh, I see my man Reese drinking tonight too.
Yeah. Man,
one more thing. A question for you guys before we go, real quick. What do you think happens if there's no fans with the salary cap next year? I heard a lot of teams are worried about it because a lot of teams have big time cap trouble next year. I think Ryan's team's one of them. I think right now they're for next year they're $28 million under the cap, and if the cap doesn't go up at all.
You know what? Hold that question, and let's open up the next episode with that because I want to look into that and see what the scenarios that could play out are before I provide an answer for that. You know what I mean?
That's the preview.
That's my homework assignment for the week, though.
Yeah.
I promise, Mr. Teacher, I'll have it done by next class. That being said, though, we're gonna wrap this up. Keep it a little short for you guys. Just a quick little listen. And guys, if these shorter episodes are something you like, maybe we could record a couple more every week and drop them this way. Let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback as always. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Invite your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin. I don't care who you invite. Girlfriend, boyfriend, grandparents,
5-star
anyone.
ratings too.
5-star rating, very, very important. Tim, you got some big hands, man. You got some big mittens. That's
no gloves.
Oh my God. For our YouTube, Timmy No Gloves to Joseph. There's his new name. But till next time, I'm Ryan. He's Reese. He's Tim, and we are the Football Guys.
Peace.